Hello, I'm Dr. Valerie Walker, and welcome back to our show today. You are what you eat. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, said, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." We've been joined by Dr. Botanica. He's world known for his information on nutrition and wellness. He's highly sought after. Doctor, tell the audience a little bit about you. We didn't do
Well,
that the first time.
I actually, I started studying when at the age of 9.
9 years
Yeah,
old.
and one of the
Okay.
first books I picked up was the Jethro Kloss, uh, back to Eden at the
Back to
time.
Eden. Okay, I
Yeah,
have that
and
book.
and then Dick Gregory's book, Cooking with Mother Nature, for those who like to eat or love to eat, and then the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Who wrote Eat to Live and How to Eat to Live. So those
Okay.
are first books I had started studying. Then I started studying Jacques Cousteau and stuff like that at that time. Um, but yeah, I guess this is my course
Mm-hmm. It
of
is.
endeavors. So yeah, I earned a diploma in traditional Chinese medicine. I had acquired my PhD. After earning several certificates,
Mm-hmm.
uh, like I say, and I went on to continue to study. Uh, had I was very fortunate to connect with many pioneers
Many.
in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
To study the work of the pioneers, Bernard Jensen, Norman Cousins. I had a major privilege to study with or basically correspond with Dr. Samuel Epstein
Okay.
of the University of Chicago, medical doctor. Dr. Rath, who's in Germany,
Mm-hmm.
and of course I was Dick Gregory's personal consultant, highly endorsed by
Oh
him
yeah,
as well.
absolutely.
So I've created several milestones in this particular endeavor of alternative medicine. I have been trained in various modalities: traditional Chinese medicine, as I stated, Ayurveda medicine, orthomolecular medicine,
Mm-hmm.
metabolic therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Also being a provider for a laboratory that uses nanotechnology for bioidentical hormone testing, elemental testing, and neurotransmitter testing.
Mm-hmm.
Just have attended over 300 symposiums in the last 30 years.
Right, right,
Industry
right.
show. Used to own 4 health food stores.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in various areas of the health food industry as a rep, as a buyer,
Right.
as a product researcher.
So, Doctor, what you're really saying is you're familiar with what we're talking
Yeah,
about today.
exactly.
Okay. All right. I told you he was well renowned. So, Doctor, everybody now tells us, and y'all listen, that it's really, really good. You've got to eat the colors of the rainbow because there are various nutrients and things that you need in every single type of food you eat. And I can remember Doc telling me some time ago, make sure you eat onions. Onions are so good for you and all. So in our rainbow, we have onions, we have different colors of tomato. Look at that yellow tomato. Have you ever seen a yellow tomato before? And then naturally, we got our little red cherry, little tomato. I love these. These are grapes. These used to grow wild in Georgia, and we would just stand outside. We used to eat off the land, Doc. We would just stand outside and pick these and wipe them on our little dirty clothes and eat them. And then we'd eat pecans, and then we go down into the field and eat the watermelons. And my granddaddy used to always say, "Don't burst the watermelon and eat the heart out." Guess what we do? Burst the watermelon and eat the heart out, and run and take the rind to the pigs and hope they eat it before my granddaddy realized what was going on, but he knew what we was doing anyway. And we've got avocado, we've got raspberry, we got oranges, and we also have a red pear. Don't just pass up red pears when you're in the store. They are delicious. Reach for something unfamiliar sometimes. Don't just always grab a green pear and run through the store. Grab a red one and take it home, and you're going to find out just exactly how delicious it is. We got apples, we got oranges. So, Doctor, tell us why we should just eat a variety of fruits and vegetables whenever we can.
Well, all vegetables and fruits by color contain different phytonutrients,
Mm-hmm.
phytochemicals, antioxidants. Tomato, one of the sources that basically comes out of the tomato is lycopene.
Lycopene, right.
A potato, russet potato, alpha lipoic acid, the
And they
allicin that
said
comes, yeah.
lycopene helps stop cancer too.
There's some studies out there that have that has shown efficacy
Okay.
with that. Of course, your oranges, you have and grapefruits, you have the forms of vitamin C, avocado essential fats, which is good for the brain. However, again, based on the blood type, like I'm type O, so avocados is off the list because it's not applicable to my blood type. But
Oh,
again,
doctor, you can't have a good avocado.
but I do eat them periodically, so it's okay to cheat periodically.
Okay, right,
And so
right.
with when people ask me or when I implement a protocol, I do have some restrictions. But if you want to have that cheat day, so periodically I'll indulge
Right,
in an
right.
avocado once it's ripe. The raspberries, blueberries, they all contain great and very resourceful phytonutrients for the body, for the brain, for the blood activity. And so when you look at like apples, you have different types of apples. Though there are some apples are like kind of like hybrids.
What
You know,
about green versus red versus all these new? When I was growing up, Doc, all we had was the little red apple. At
yeah, the
Christmas
Washington
time,
State, yeah,
yeah, we
Eckrich.
had our little red
Now
apples.
you have Gala, you have
Yes.
just so many different species or types of
Is
apples.
there a difference? Or can we
Granny
just
Smith
still
apple.
eat them all?
Yeah, I mean there's nothing wrong with it. If it's a hybrid, and you can crossbreed certain fruits.
Okay.
There's no really danger in that. However, in therapy, the Granny Smith apple is supposed to be the one of the best sources of apples to use when you're going through therapy or
Oh,
some type
okay.
of metabolic therapy. The Granny Smith apple was always selected by the Gerson therapy, which is the one of the therapies I was trained in, metabolic therapy. So, but yeah, I mean, just being selective, the Fuji apple, there's different types of apples out there, just
Right.
like there's different types of, pears and
My
oranges.
best
Yeah,
apple is Gala.
yeah.
I like a Gala apple.
You have like the Asian pear, you have, which is a huge pear.
I've
You
seen
find
those.
those in more of the ethnic markets.
Right, and don't be
Very,
ashamed to go to some of those markets
yeah,
sometime.
yeah. So you have in green vegetables you have like a lot of people are consumed with or just they buy the same type of like for say for example yam.
Yeah.
Sweet potato. Most people consume sweet potatoes, but there's like things like garnet yams. There's jewel yams. That
So
are
it's not just that regular one you go and run in the grocery store and buy for Thanksgiving,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's the end of it. There are other types.
Yeah, there's like like forest cabbage. There's Napa cabbage. As far as greens, you have bok choy. You have different types. You have different types of kale. Like you
Absolutely.
have dinosaur kale. They call it dinosaur kale because it looks like the skin of a dinosaur.
Dinosaur. Oh my
But it's
goodness.
actually easier to juice than your standard kale. You don't get
Okay.
much out of that hard kale.
Okay.
And so the dinosaur kale is actually easier to use or juice.
I like arugula. That's my new thing
Arugula is
now. I love
very
it because
has
it's
a
easy
unique,
to do
yeah.
it. They got a peppery taste to it. And you know what I do instead of lettuce? Now, Doc, I just dump some in a bowl and put a little jalapeno pepper or something over it, some onion, a little dressing, and I'm gonna ask you what's our best dressing too, and just eat it. And it's quick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's really
I mean,
quick.
cilantro has great medicinal benefits, as like parsley. So that people have not grown to diversify their
Right.
diet. They're indoctrinated with the same
Same
standard
old thing
traditional
all the
way of eating
time.
instead of going out to different ethnic markets and seeing what different cultures consume.
Right.
What type, like the Asian community, why they're appear to be much more healthier
And
because they
they
incorporate
are.
more sea vegetables. There's different types of seaweed out there that will be ideal, which supports the thyroid function. There's wakame, there's arame, there's kombu seaweed with miso. So we need to just rice.
Right.
There's a many different
Black
types of rice. There's
rice,
black rice,
brown
there's
rice.
ginger
No,
mine.
most people, if you've never even heard of black rice, when I talk about black rice, they go, "Are you serious?" Yeah, I am.
Well, matter of fact, black rice was grown for back in the dynasties for the royal family, and
Okay.
it actually has medicinal benefits for the liver. You
Okay.
know, and then you have bamboo rice, you have jade green
Where
rice,
you find
you have
black rice,
Bhutanese
Doc?
rice.
Where you
You have to
find
go
it?
to these different ethnic markets.
Marcus, right.
There's
That's where I find
ginjama,
it.
which has 400% like more antioxidants than the average brown rice. Very high in fiber. There's GABA rice. There's just so many different types of rice,
So
but
it's just not white rice anymore.
or brown rice. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
white or brown. That's the main thing we use. So, Doc, let's talk a little bit about grain. What are whole grains? When you hear people say, "Oh, increase your diet," and my patients go to the dietitian, they say they always tell them, "You've got to eat more whole grain." What exactly are some of the whole grains
Well,
we
pretty
need to
much what they
consume?
really are saying, you need more fiber.
Okay,
Fiber is essential for the digestive system. And a lot of
absolutely.
people don't get enough fiber, like dark rye. Dark rye is the preferred bread or grain because it has those that condensed or concentrated fiber benefit. But when you look at like oatmeal, however, there's some people like type O. Going back to type O is not conducive
For
for.
oatmeal.
But when you talk about like that, instant oatmeal can actually have a negative effect. It can actually elevate your glucose levels,
Okay.
as opposed to getting steel cut oats or Scottish oatmeal.
And still cut and just cook it yourself. But
Cook it the
doctor,
old
we
fashioned
so
way.
quick with the microwave. What's up with us in the microwave? We are the microwave generation. We don't want to stand over the stove and stir in oatmeal. We like it quick like this.
As they say, haste makes waste. So
That's true.
we have to learn to be more patient. Microwave food, because of the EMF, electromagnetic field, it changed the molecular structure of the food. So another major era in home economics is you see people, they'll put the plastic cover over the plate of food, not
Yes.
realizing they're incorporating that plastic chemical, all the chemicals that are contained in that plastic, into the food, because
Oh
it's
wow.
manipulating everything that's in there. Okay, outside the glass.
Right.
So,
Right.
so you're taking it out of its natural state,
Right.
and it becomes
Absolutely.
a carcinogen. It's more carcinogenic, which is
So
means,
carcinogen causes
yeah,
cancer.
exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So just use a conventional oven. Oven, just be you waiting an extra 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Though the packages give you the option when you buying
Yeah, they do.
food, conventional instructions,
Over the
over the
stove
stove
and
or
then microwave.
microwave.
Right.
So that should be your last resort,
Okay.
because what you're doing is proliferating, and the development of cancer cells.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
yeah.
So, doctor, let's just jump over to what kind of oils can we have? I like on my salad, and I'll keep it turned this way, olive oil with a little vinegar. What's your best
Well, there's olive oil.
oil?
If you're gonna use like a sautéing oil or something light, yeah, olive oil, extra virgin. One of the best sources of olive oil would be the Greek olive oil.
Greek olive oil. Okay.
And that you find that you may find it in some grocery stores, but ethnic stores carry the actual imports. Sometimes you find it in a metal container or glass. Then there's grapeseed oil.
I
Grapeseed
like
oil,
grapeseed
yeah,
oil. You brought me some.
yeah, grapeseed oil has a higher smoke point, and so it doesn't break down. The molecular structure doesn't break down to where it becomes carcinogenic.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're gonna fry, some people choose to fry in safflower oil or sunflower oil or peanut oil, but it's all about the molecular structure. When you turn this heat up to a high area or high level of intense heat, you will change the molecular structure, and where it
Absolutely.
becomes more harmful to the body.
That's why a lot of times they'll say not conducive for frying. or
Yeah.
high heats.
Yep.
Because they know that you're changing things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My grandmother back in the day, they used to do lard and fried chicken in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Doc, best chicken you ever had. But now lard, things like margarine was very popular back in my day. Those things are falling out of favor. And I know a lot of that is because of the hydrogenated oils and stuff that are in those things. What about butter?
Butter's fine. I mean, if you have a butter that's BST free, not from the bovine growth hormone from the cows. What's even better than butter is the actual butter ghee, GHEE, which is clarified butter.
Okay.
Clarified butter is when they take the butter and they cook it at a low heat and they skim off the toxins.
Oh,
And
okay.
so that the butter ghee can actually be refrigerated. Okay, and so it has other medicinal benefits like burns.
Right.
If you burn yourself, butter ghee is applicable to those burns. But yeah, butter ghee. If you're going to use butter, of course you want to look at the brand,
Right.
and make sure that it's not from the chemicals that they use in or GMO or growth hormone process or things like that. So. You can actually coconut oil. You can actually cook in coconut oil.
Is
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's good.
Of course, if you're doing stir fry, sesame oil.
Okay.
So but it's just looking and being mindful of what you're doing, and what you use as far as that, the type of olive oil. There's some olive oil that may be mixed with coconut oil. I mean, with canola oil.
Right.
Of course, what took the place of lard was the vegetable oil, the introduction of vegetable oil,
Right.
which is a combination of canola and corn
Right.
oil.
Right.
But lard was actually better for you because your body can naturally metabolize it, whereas dehydrated oils will clog the arteries over time. This is why you see people with aortic stenosis,
Right.
plaque in their arteries because of the
Right.
hydrogenated oils.
And for a while, Doc, that's all we use.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you did
All the
not know at
commercialized
the
foods
time.
are fried in olive oil because, honestly, if you're going to cheat, that's fine, but you have to be mindful. The restaurants are in the business of profit.
Right.
So they're going to get the cheapest of the cheap because
Right,
hey, you're
right.
eating there. They know that you're not
Right.
going to eat there every day. So their objective is to make as much of a profit as possible. So they're going to buy cheaper material,
Right.
unless you're going to a so-called 4 or 5 star restaurant.
Okay. So last thing, Doc, when we go in these fast food restaurants, is there anything we can order in there? Like, for instance, I always know that we get little packets of things that we like to go with, and take home and dump on top of our things. Is any of that stuff good for us?
Well, you're looking at preservatives, you're looking at dye, you're looking at high fructose corn syrup, you're looking at sodium content. So you're looking at it's designed to taste good. It's not designed to elevate your health or improve your health.
Right.
It
right.
is basically a consumer condiment that enhances the flavor of the food. It's just like monosodium glutamate,
Just want it
MSG.
to taste good.
There are a lot of products that have MSG in there, okay, that enhances the flavors, a flavor enhancer.
Right.
However, it's a neurotoxin. It causes blood stagnation. So if you're going to, sometimes you may want to just bring your own condiments that are much more natural.
Right.
If you want to do ketchup, if you want to do mustard or oil.
Get some natural.
Yeah, so there most of if you look at the ingredients, you have a whole paragraph of chemicals you don't even understand and never heard of.
And you can't even pronounce.
Exactly.
That's right. Most of them, I always tell my patients, if you can't pronounce it, don't buy it. Put it back on the shelf. And if there's more than 5, the best ingredient really is one. Like 1 apple, 1 pear, 1 banana. And if you cannot pronounce it, put it back. These long old words, Doc, and every kind of dye in the world, red dye, blue dye, green dye, and all, which bring us to the last little thing before we close. What desserts can we eat? And why does people sprinkle sprinkles, and they all colorful, which means they all full of dye and things. So
Yes.
because we are a dessert-driven nation, close us out, Doc. Well, what dessert can we have?
Well, that what you just showed was just an example of rainbow toxicity. Because all those
Against
colors,
all our
yeah,
rainbow stuff we
yeah,
have
as
here.
opposed to here,
Right, right. So you all see the
yeah,
difference.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
not talking about the same thing here, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you know, again, when you look at dessert, if you're gonna have ice cream, invest an extra dollar into a so-called chemical-free ice cream that has milk, cream, and sugar, not a whole paragraph. If you're gonna do like tapioca, if tapioca is good, a yam. Get your children, if you have children, get them used to eating yams for dessert. Or if you're gonna do,
And they are
or
delicious.
preparing your own dessert. But if you're going out, basically, again, you're talking about cheating. Because more than likely, the restaurant is not going to serve you a slice of cake or pie that's made from honey, molasses, or organic
No,
sugar,
absolutely not.
unbleached flour.
And we need this kind of stuff. I call this God's jelly. Good old honey.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So, you just want to be selective. But when you're at home, you're talking about dessert. It's an investment. Health is an investment.
It
So if you
is.
want the better side of health or better side of like a dessert, you go to a particular store or maybe a health food store and get you a better quality of ice cream, a better quality of sorbet, a
Right.
better quality of a pie.
And you don't have to get all those type desserts in the health food store. Can't you find them at some of the local markets if
Yeah,
you read the
yeah.
label?
If you can find
If you read the
if
label.
you look at, there are grocery stores that are getting into the so-called health trend.
Right,
So
right.
again, when you walk down the aisle, you just again look at the ingredients, what it's made from, and get back into home economics of just the cooking, being able to cook it yourself, a peach cobbler, apple
Right,
pie, or
right.
baking a cake. It's going to save you money, and as much basically it's not as toxic as the preserved snacks or desserts you buy in the grocery store.
Okay. All right, that's good, Doctor. And last thing, give my secret ingredient again. I just want to close out and tell everybody my secret ingredient for good health. Always, every day, do your best to eat you some good old delicious celery. It's good for you. It has all type of medicinal things. Doc, did you know with celery seeds they even make cologne? They can make perfume out of celery. Yeah.
It's
So
interesting.
next time you may be smelling good, it may be that celery. So try to eat some celery every single day. I hope you enjoyed the show and learned a whole lot from Dr. Botanica. He's very, very knowledgeable. And real quick, Doc, how can they get in contact you if they wanted to?
They can contact me at 314 600 1647,
Uh-huh.
314-600-1647, or go to my website, www.docbotanica, DocBotanica.com.
All right.
Doc Botanica.
That does it for us, Doctor. Thank you so much for coming by. And we want you to join us again for another exciting episode of The Medical Moment, where we're trying our best to keep you healthy and well. And don't forget, go out today and get you some celery. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.